Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. I was in the middle of my Sunday cleaning and it's been a long, I want to say 2 weeks. Very heavy as far as the energy concerning friends and family, and we've had 2 deaths back to back. Both just too young, too just, it leaves you really truly wondering why these things have to happen and what it means. Of course, with any death, you start reflecting on your own personal life, your own destiny, and these things are never easy. And as you're trying to make sense of it all and give your respects to the family, because you don't know the level of their pain as much as your pain, and watching their pain, it's just a lot, very layered. But what it prompted me to really bring home was the power of who you have in your life and what that even implies and how that can impact your future. Now, I could be making a very generalized assumption. This might even be borderline insensitive to the legacy of the 2 deceased, but I don't think I'm too off, and I don't think I'm too because I've heard these correlations before, and it's sad when you see certain people at a certain age struggling with very basic things. So I've talked about this before. In your 20s, you're expected to blah, 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 blah. Not have your shit together. In your 30s, you need to have some things in place. By your 40s, you need to have the things in place. It's not even a question. By your 50s, it's like, what the hell is going on? What is wrong here? And when it comes to your lifestyle, your peace and your happiness, all the money, all the titles, all of these other things aren't as important. And I can say this from what has been shared to me from people at a certain level in life, reflecting back on their life. And I know that as I age every day, because I'm aging, we're all aging, I already know that before I even get to my 40s, I value peace, harmony, stability, the basic necessities that I don't want to have to question about. I don't want to have to worry about. I don't want to have to think about it. These certain things are automated. Certain things are already in place. Certain things are absolutely. So when it comes down to provision, when it comes down to health insurance, options, having the luxury, not even the luxury, but the being able to say, yes, I want this type of care, or no, I'm going to take another route, or having the time it takes to research other alternative methods, make informed decisions about your care. You trust your partner to know what you want and what you need. It humbled me, and it made me think about, yes, I can go out here tomorrow and I can die in a car accident. Do I have certain things in place as far as my children are concerned? Where it's written, who is going to take them? Where is my money going to go? All this stuff they can sell. I'll write that down too. You can leave my children whatever they want to keep from me, let them decide. After that, get rid of it. But my money and where I want my children to go and who I want to raise my children, that's a big decision. And a lot of times, you don't need to be waiting till you're 60 to get a will together and get some things in place. Like, these are things that we as mothers need to think about now. And we also need to keep in mind, as you're so eager to be booed up, maybe partnered up, in union, in connection with someone, remember the long-term impact that they may have on your life and on your future and your children's lives. Because that is a part of life that no one wants to think about and consider, but at the same time, it makes such a big difference. And so if I were to connect myself, willingly connect myself with someone whose shit is not together, but I've worked so hard to get my shit together, there's not enough love in the world that's going to bring me through the amount of stress that it would take to not only heal my body, but to have the patience to put up with that person as I am going through all that I'm going through, if that makes sense. You know, it's a very hard thing to settle with and to really think about. Can you trust anyone? Whoever you want to slide in that position to be, you know, your power, not power of attorney, but like, well, yeah, that could be the same. Don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm at a loss for words, but the person who's going to speak for you, vouch for you, advocate for you, decide where you go, how you go. You know, these are things that, you know, you've got to know what you want, and you've got to know that you can trust the person that you bring into your life, or you ask. You know, so I would ask my mother, and if she were not in the position to do that, well, my parents together, and if they were not in the position for whatever reason not to do that, they couldn't do that, then I would ask my two oldest siblings. And then I would even write out why I want certain things. So there's no guesswork there. You know, let me go before you put me in a nursing home. Pull the plug before you put me on a ventilator. You know, these are things that you see come into like a power struggle with families in the healthcare industry, and maybe, you know, and even beyond, when these things aren't clear. These things haven't been defined. Or let's say the parents don't like the husband, and the husband's like, well, my wife, I'm going to do this and the other. And the parents are like, but we know she wouldn't have wanted that. Then, but you did not, maybe he wasn't the one. Maybe, you know, your husband's got this off energy and it's about that check. And he's not honoring what you might have expressed to him. But your parents aren't in a position to honor your wishes because you don't have it written down anywhere. You don't have anywhere that anyone can go say, no, stop. Because see, it says right here, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And these are little things that come up. When I went into labor, I had my birth plan. So the first time, I didn't. But the second time, I made sure that my doula had my birth plan, and she presented it as so. Their father wasn't in an emotional state to clearly define and remind each nurse that came in the room and each doctor came in the room that this is her wishes. He's just as nervous as me. He's trying to help me through my contractions. So it's a lot of I'm using this as an example because when the energy is high and there's a lot going on, you know, it's not the time to be trying to like scramble and like, well, this one knows how you felt about these things, and this one has the authority to make these decisions, and that might not really be in alignment with who you truly are, and they're just doing the best that they can, and they're making decisions based on suggestions and emotions and just trying to do what's best. Everybody thinks they know what's best, and it's just a big mess. But during my labor, my doula was very clear and could remain neutral, there for him, there for me, and communicate clearly with all the staff about what I wanted. But it really brings me back to the whole point of this video is you have to really look at someone's beyond just they make me feel good. He's a nice guy. He has all this potential. That's a big word. You know, he came in my life at a time where this, that, and the other. Does he elevate you? I'm sorry, but things cost money. Things cost money. Quality is going to cost more money. Excellent, top tier customer service, and you're at the front, you are a priority, costs even more money. Options cost money to have the flexibility to even consider that as an option. And you have to think long term when it comes to who you tie yourself with. And the whole unevenly yoked is not, it goes so much further and so much, it goes so beyond just, does he believe in the Bible? Does he believe in God? Does he believe in what I believe in? Does he pray? Because I might have never seen that man say a prayer in his life, but I know that he is not going to do anything to me that I wouldn't want done to me, or make any kind of hasty decisions, or not do anything at all, make excuses. It's hard times due to COVID. I'm trying. I just couldn't. I'm hurting too. It's hard out here. Baby, just give me a little bit more time. I'm going to figure it out. Because that doesn't help me. That doesn't keep me safe. That doesn't protect me. That's not providing for me. That's all noise and words. Another thing to consider in this is who you financially bind yourself with, because you could be financially here and he could be financially down here, and now his mess is your mess. Not enough prayer in the world to make that go away either. And he may be a blue-collar, hardworking man, but if he does not have his mess together, all that is lacking from him is now lacking from you. Or he can be a blue-collar, hardworking man, and all that he is worked and built and created is now all of your assets and all of your riches and glory and all that you can enjoy. Because we know that it's not about what you make, it's about what you keep. It's not about what you make, it's about what you manage. It's not about what you make, it's about your mindset around it. So you can be really, truly living it up at $80, $90, $1,000, $100,000 a year. Or you could be the woman who, he makes 2, 3, but you have nothing to show for it. Credit jacked up, paycheck to paycheck, struggling. And the stress alone from you knowing that with all this money he makes and you have nothing, no kind of, you cannot go to bed and have a peaceful night's rest, will eat you alive. It will eat you alive. And don't let it be you can't even afford the divorce. Oh, you want out. But no matter how far you run away from that man, if you go anywhere and pull up any kind of accounts, any kind of whatever, any kind of money moves you try to make, you are still Mrs. Such and Such. And if you're not married and you were shacking up, being dumb, and you got accounts together and stuff like that, it's going to be Miss Such and Such and Mr. Such and Such. So all these things, it really humbled me and really, really, truly made me think about 5, 10 years down the road, 20 years down the road, where I do not want to find myself. I do not want to find myself, where I can control and what I can do, struggling with some of these basic things in the name of love, in the name of partnership, in the name of a union, in the name of a facade, in the name of whatever it is. And these things may have been great. Don't get me wrong. Smiling, pictures, children, memories, ceremonies, all these things. But if you cannot peacefully live to enjoy them, and you are not being taken care of and protected by someone that you have connected yourself with, and your children are not connected and covered and protected. No, leave it alone. Connected by this. Or you have, aside from that, you have not put in place what you want and how you want it. It's a mess. It's a mess. People get bent up on cremation. People get bent up on the cost of funerals. People get bent up on, no, she would want the casket open. No, she would want it closed. People get bent up on ceremony or no ceremony. People get bent up on where you're going to be buried. People have a whole lot of opinion and don't even have any room to be opinionated because you're not bringing nothing to the table. People get opinionated about who takes what of yours. Well, I'm her friend and I gave her these shoes 10 years ago. I mean, it gets so bad. People's true colors come out when you ain't there, or you're a vegetable, or you're not in a position where you can referee. And really, that shouldn't even be your job anyway. If you had it all spelled out, it would be no room to question. Then you would see who your true friends are and who your true unit is, because they will call, they will come, they will visit in your sickest days, on your worst days, on your hardest days. That's enough. Leave it alone, TT. TT want to come in here. And I said no. So, it was sobering to me because I don't have these things in place. Yes, I've worked hard to build my career, and you feel invincible. You feel like, well, I ain't gonna die. You know what I mean? I ain't sick. And that's the wrong attitude to have, honestly. You get so caught up in life and your goals, and you're like, that's not me. That's not my story. But you never know. You never know. You never know. A lump, a pain, a sudden car accident, all these things can happen that can change the direction of your life. But one thing, going back to what I say about your self-resolve and yourself, taking the power back, you do what you can do, which is put things in place for yourself and for your children in the worst case scenario, in the event that you cannot explain and spell out and give direction as to what your wishes are, even if you are in a state where you're alive, but again, you're not all there. You have these things there because it truly will help your loved ones sort out all the confusion anyway. And even if you get to the other side, you will have peace of mind that at least in that was simplified for them. So that is all I wanted to say. Not the brightest and most cheerful of subjects, but it definitely pulled on my heart. And I've got some work to do as I think about, my future. And also, too, again, coming from a place of gratitude and always paying homage and sending love and offerings to all of our ancestors that have paved the way and are paving the way. And if nothing else, you could just continue to live in their memory and speak their names and call on them and say, even though your life was cut short, I would want to live in your honor. And thank you for the legacy that you did leave behind. Thank you for the lessons that I pulled from your last days. Thank you for the time that I did know you. Thank you for all that you brought into this world. And I know your journey is not over, and I know you are better for it on the other side at the end of the day. That is all you can say. We're not owed an explanation, and we do know that this is one of the great mysteries, but we at least have peace and hope in that. And into the next video. Peace. Bye.